Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Change Management webinar for the energy sector. I am Sudeshna from Mars Business Transformation. We are an organization headquartered in Bangalore and having a pan-India presence. 17 years old, we are into leadership development, change management, and culture transformation. We are the authorized affiliate of Prosci in the Indian subcontinent. At Prosci, since 2017, we have been immersed in change management, and our journey so far has been nothing less than exhilarating. Change management. It's all about people, people, people. So the large transformations, the people dynamics, the perceptions, the resistance, the leaders, the managers, the employees, all pose a lot of challenges during any change. But a structured approach for us, backed by research-based methodology from Prosci, help us manage those changes in a way so that we can stick to budget as well as schedule. This is the first time we are bringing a change management webinar to the energy sector. Energy sector in India is the biggest driver of its growth. Having to play that role, we are seeing the amount of work these organizations are putting in and the changes they are going through. The work done by this sector in sustainability will pave the way for the rest of India. We hear a lot of corporate jargons, but the jargons from this sector of decarbonization, decentralization, digitization are their reality. So the importance of getting changes done right the first time cannot be more emphasized for this sector. So we felt this was the perfect time to bring this webinar for you. And there could not be a more perfect speaker. We have with us today Farkhad Manteyev from Kazakhstan. Farkhad is a Prosci Advanced instructor and a deployment leader who has been in the industry for the past 13 years, working in large strategic transformations, helping organizations to tide through changes. Personally, he's a very calm person, but you just need to utter the word change management to see his energy. So welcome, Farkhad. Welcome to the webinar. So Farkhad will be your host for the rest of the time we have for this webinar. But before handing over to the Farkhad, a few ground rules. This is an interactive webinar, so please keep your phones handy, phone or any other mobile device, because we shall be sharing QR codes which you need to scan or some URLs which you need to type to engage with us. And hence the request to keep a phone handy with you. This is the first time we are bringing this webinar to the energy sector. So please share what you are thinking. We need to know what is going in your mind. So your concerns, your thoughts, please share them in the below Q&A tab which you see on your screen. And please keep them coming during the webinar. Don't wait till the end. Farkhad will be hosting you for the next 45 minutes. And then we shall use the last 15 minutes to take your questions. We shall try to answer all of your questions. In case we are not, we shall revert to each of them personally, and that's a promise. So with that, over to you, Farkhad.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Sudeshna. Let me show my screen. Okay. So I'm very, very happy to be here and speak in front of you. Again, thank you, Sudeshna, for this opportunity. And I often hear that I have a very calming voice, perfect for podcast, as probably too nice for me. And don't want to say that I'm a bit monotonous. Today I'll try to be more energetic for you guys. So personally, I discovered change management in 2013 while working in Deutsche Bahn in Berlin, in Germany. The company had transformed from a profitable state-owned railroad company to biggest one of the biggest leader in logistics sector. So I interviewed key experts who were managing the transformation, and everyone were speaking about people engagement, role of top managers, resistance, active communication, etc. And there I heard a change management for the first time. For example, they held multi-day sessions in large hangars with 2,000 to 3,000 people and openly discussing the upcoming changes, answering brutal questions. I understood that we were not working with people at all. So we missed that systematic approach in our projects. Before that, I worked in strategic planning department, and with support from McKinsey, BCG, companies from Big Four, we developed the beautiful slides based on best benchmark analysis with sophisticated financial models, but all behind closed doors. We developed strategies without involving people like partisans. We approved our plans, our projects, and then we were offended that no one is implementing our projects. And people from business called us science fiction writers or astronauts. So I realized that I need to add change management in my projects. And since then, I tried to incorporate this approach in our transformations, in our projects, and start working specifically in change management. So, as Sudeshna said, we will try to do our webinar not like in lecture way, but let's make it more interactive. Please scan this QR code or follow the link. I think our colleagues just posted in chat. You can just click it. Please keep this tab open, as we will periodically return to AHA slides to share our opinion. So the goal is to involve you and give an opportunity for you to share your experience, your ideas, your challenges, maybe even the questions. So we have a question here. Let me switch to slides. Okay, so what does change management mean to you? How do you perceive it? Training, communication, about resistance, about sending people to training classes, whatever. Just please share your opinion. How do you perceive change management? People, great. Yep. New challenge, new job role, something better. Wow, I like this, something better. It could be my motto for next webinars as well. Process, training, forming a guiding coalition, yes. Training, trying new, great. Good. So, and let's go for the next question. What projects are currently being implemented in your company? You can type your past projects or maybe new initiatives, new ideas as well. So, automation. Yeah, based on your answers, I will try to build our webinar and make examples based on your projects. Org restructuring, great. New AI tools. That's good. I will have an example based on automation and new AI tools. It will be in the second part of our webinar. I will describe how we implemented this project, what kind of challenges we faced, how we tried to overcome them, what kind of results we obtained, etc. So be with us. I will tell the stories, real stories. Mergers and acquisitions, process changes, decarbonization, omni-channel, integrated marketing, better resource management, digital transformation. Great. Wow. That is a really nice list of projects. That's awesome. Let's go back to our PowerPoint slides. Okay. So let's see how typically people perceive change management in projects. For them, for many people, unfortunately, it means sending an email on Monday, for training on Tuesday, for go live on Wednesday. This is kind of a joke, but in reality, many times I face this kind of projects, and this is not the way to prepare and equip our people to successful changes. Now let's see what Prosci has to say about this approach about change management. On the project level, change management is application of structured process and set of tools. So it's meaning not about intuition and my personal feelings for leading people's side of change. So it's not focused on the development of a solution, but on usage and adoptions. And we do all this to ensure the long-term benefits of this project. On the organizational level, on the right side, it's a leadership competency for enabling change within an organization. So this means building the necessary competency of top and middle management at the company level. And whatever changes are launched, they will follow a structured process. Everything is worked according to a set of algorithms. And the result is your company's ability to handle a much larger volume of change than competitors. So now let's explore these terms and try to understand the value of change management. So let's examine the structure of any project in details, org structure, AI automation, mergers and acquisition, and etc. And this model helps us to understand a project on a single page. The company has a reason for change, a problem or possible opportunity in current state. That's why current state is red. Next, we introduce something new process, new structure, etc., moved through the transition state and eventually reach the future state where we achieve the benefits. But two conditions must be met to achieve these benefits. First, the technical side must be in good condition. Suppose we are implementing new process, and this means that new process must be described in detail with new steps and logic that provides better results than the current process. And the second condition is the people side, meaning employees must follow this new process, use that new solution as planned. And if the technical process is designed perfectly, but people do not follow it, do not use it, we can hardly expect any results. And we call this change a paper change because it's happening only on paper. For example, org structure. I saw, unfortunately, many examples when we're changing structure, and it ends up only changing the names of units, changing the plates on the doors, and that's it. People are still working in the old way, and sometimes some tasks are obliviating. We are forgetting about it because we just changing the names, the tag of people without changing the process, how they using that process. So we can take also new corporate values, new corporate culture. The technical side will be the new values themselves, and the people side, it's about people following these values in real life. Okay, so when we are discussing a project, we often think only on the organizational level, such as implementing AI decision, AI tool in ABC company. However, if we will use a virtual microscope, we will see that organization consists of people. For an organization to move to a future state, employees must transition from their current state and to future state. Organizations don't change, people do. But in reality, things don't happen as smoothly as here on the slide. And no matter how awful the current state often suits everyone. And when we start implementing something new, saying, hey, we will implement new AI, we will automate our sales processes, we will automate HR processes, people will resist. They might say, please don't ruin my routine. Everything was fine. I was satisfied with everything. As a result, not everyone moves to the future state, to the transition state. And some resist, some treat it formally, and even fewer reach the future state. This means the organization gets less benefit from the transition that it would have if all employees has moved to the future state. So in simple words, change management is about moving all employees from the current state to the future state without losing anyone. So this way, the company will gain all the expected benefits. So change management is about getting benefits from the people side of change, of our project. And the transition from the current state to the future state with and without change management can be visualized as shown here on the slide in this picture. Without change management, we experience a longer, a bumpier transition state. We don't achieve the future state we expected, and ultimately, we don't achieve the full benefits of the change. And we call this situation a Swiss cheese future state. Consequences of this Swiss cheese included like unmet expectations, a lower return on investment, failed change initiatives, decreased employee satisfaction, and etc. more and more. Okay, so let's return to our online survey. And please answer the question about how often does your company encounter a situation where the technical side of the implementation is in order, but there are issues with the people side? We have often, sometimes, rarely, never. Yeah. Wow, we have, okay, rarely, 25%, 75% often, good. Sometimes, okay, good. So 50% often, sometimes 35.5, okay, 44, often or sometimes. Great. We can see that unfortunately many of us face this situation, and many studies indicate that about 70% of projects don't fully meet their expected goals. I think you know all these kind of results of studies. And recently I came across a study by Prosci Consulting, which surveyed the 100 largest company in Germany. Surprisingly, Prosci not only makes cars, but also provides consulting services. And their research showed that approximately 75% of projects in these biggest companies of Germany last year did not fully achieve their goals during the implementation of transformation or like projects in IT or AI, etc. So this 75% seems to be kind of a magical number, fortunately. And despite having a strong engineers, programmers, good solutions on the market, the failure rate remains high. And from my experience and our discussions in community, in change management community, I've concluded that the main reason is insufficient focus on people, on employees during project implementation. But I have a good news for you guys. If we will apply change management in your project at an excellent level, like Jedi Knights from Star Wars, we can increase the probability of project success by 7 times. Even by using basic change management principles and tools, do it on the fair level, we can improve the likelihood of project success by 3 times. So therefore, it's better to start moving in this direction and try something new than do nothing at all. So doing baby steps at the beginning, doing baby steps in change management. And change management is a process similar to onboarding new employees, procurement, business planning. It consists of 3 phases, each containing 3 stages. Each stage has specific tasks, tools, results, racing matrices, and at the core of the change management process are several key models that we will review together. And the first model we will explore is ADKAR model. So I'm really pleased to introduce, maybe for some of you, the ADKAR model of individual change, which is central, the core of Prosci methodology. Jeff Hyatt, the founder of Prosci, created the ADKAR model. Before founding Prosci, he worked for around 20 years as an engineer at Bell Labs, as a project leader, experiencing both successes and failures. And he realized that this kind of same type of change were successful in certain companies and failed in others. As an engineer, he was surprised that the most challenging problem was dealing with people rather than systems. And he studied how 700 organizations implemented projects, and based on his findings, he developed the ART-CAR model. So it's outlined the 5 sequential stages an employee needs to go through during the project implementation. Let's look at each stage in more detail. The first stage is awareness. Awareness. It's understanding the need for change. Why it's necessary? What will happen if we do not change? So it's not about the change itself. It's about why the change is needed. For example, if the head of company announced that we will implement a new CRM system in 6 months and it will automate most of the business processes, some employee may think this is a waste of time. Why are we implementing something again? Everything is working fine as it is. They never tell us what's going on. Don't break what works. Our old system is much better than the new one. So it is crucial to remember that understanding the real need for change is a vital first step, awareness. So to help employees understand the need for change, we can build conversation in a different way. For example, we can explain that the vendor will no longer support our old CRM system. We must replace it with a new one because it will allow better customer service. Also, we are transitioning to data-driven approach in customer interactions. We will eliminate intermediaries and we will enhance overall efficiency in marketing. So, therefore, this new CRM system is needed to support these strategic objectives. In this case, the conversation might change to, okay, when we will have a new system, how much longer the old one will be supported, how much will my job change due to the new system, how will it impact to my team, how my KPIs and metrics will change, are we going to have trainings and when? So it's more robust conversation, more efficient conversation. So let's go back to our survey. Let's answer to the question, what reaction do you observe if employees don't understand why the changes are needed? So what do you see? If we will not explain why we're changing AI, why we have to change our org structure, why we have to implement new HR processes, and just say, hey guys, we will send you to the trainings, or this is our roadmap, you have to participate, and that's it. They don't attend training, exactly. Resistance. They will say no to our change. Yeah. So this means that less amount of people will be in our future state, less benefits we will receive. And as you remember, we call it a Swiss cheese state, right? I'm doing well. Why now? Lack of interest. Confused, chaos, ignorance, lack of understanding. Yeah, totally agree with you guys. Thank you for sharing your ideas, experience. Let's go next to the next element is desire. After awareness comes desire. And the tricky thing, desire does not mean that employee has fallen in love with our project and our employee is ready to get a tattoo with the name of the project. It's about the personal decision to participate in our project and support the change. So it is important to answer the question, what's in it for me? This drives the desire. How does it affect me, my work, my job role, my metrics, my system, my processes, and how it will impact my team? I manage my team. So desire is really a difficult stage, and we cannot force someone to have a desire because it's a personal choice, but we can create a condition to facilitate it. Of course, no one canceled kind of orders, pressure, etc. But there are pros and cons to using a pressure to build desire. However, research and practice shows that forcing people is not sustainable. We can intimidate an employee and force them to participate in our project. However, as soon as we turn away to another project or new priorities appear and we will not pay attention to our employees, our people will stop participating or will do it only formally. And this results in fewer benefits for the organization from this project. So this force and pressure can be applied, but it's not sustainable and not that efficient. After desires comes knowledge. Knowing how to act in the new way after the change is implemented is crucial, and you also tapped in trainings, right? And when implementing project, the first reaction of people, typically, we will send our people to trainings. However, before sending to training, they must go through AD stages. Awareness, why do we need this change? And desire, okay, I decided to participate in your project. Otherwise, the employee will attain the training, wait for it to end, try to work simultaneously, answering emails, building some presentation, etc. They will give a negative feedback and given hard time for the instructor. They will go for a coffee, always browse social media, and generally see it as a wasting time and resources. And it's true, it is a waste of time and resources for a project and organization because the training will be inefficient at all. So we need to give this awareness and desire and only then send people to training. And we are used to sending people to training and expecting them to perform better. However, after gaining new knowledge, we must ensure that they transfer their new skills to abilities to work in a new way. They must be able to say, I've been taught and I can work effectively in a new way, in a new system, in a new org structure after the M&A, and I can demonstrate it to you. After go live, we often inform everyone that we will work in the new processes following the training, let's say from Monday. And we expect the employee efficiency to increase immediately to the moon, right? And we will get benefits from it. However, this does not happen instantly. People need time to turn knowledge into skills, into abilities. So this isn't easy and requires effort. And if I have a life hack for you guys. If efficiency of our employees do not change after starting working in the new way, it's on the same level. This means that no one is likely working in a new way. And we have implemented a paper change. Right after go live, efficiency should go a little bit down. People have just started working in a new way. They get used to write with the right hand. And now we're asking them, stop using your right hand, start writing left hand, for example. And we need to support them in order to build their abilities and make them work efficiently. So after knowledge comes ability. We need to support our people, coach them to build that skills. And then the final step is reinforcement. Employees will return to familiar old processes unless we anchor the new behavior and new work methods. What is contributing to reinforcement? First is establishing responsibility for following new processes in the new system and evaluating employee performance. Second, ensuring that there are no negative consequences for mistakes while working in new way. Because as I said to you just right now, people need some time to build their abilities. And when they will start working in a new way, they can make mistakes. And if we will punish them for these mistakes, they will say, no, I will not work in a new way. It's for me better to work in an old way because I will not be punished anymore. And the third is celebrating success and showing that efforts and performance are important, recognized and rewarded. So we as people have a natural and psychological need to return to old, comfortable way. Our brain requires much effort to adapt to new ways. Following familiar sequences of actions and set of script is much easier than do it in a new way. That's why reinforcement is really crucial for progress and stabilizing the change. So guys, we must guide our employees through each element of ADKAR to ensure the organization transition to the future state and start realizing the planned benefits. When we understand how to transfer one person through ADKAR elements, we can transfer the whole team and then the whole organization. So ADKAR model is very simple and efficient model. And I'm hoping that after our webinar, you will look to our world in a new ADKAR lenses if you haven't met it before. So you will look on your employees, your colleagues, on your managers through ADKAR lenses. Okay, so let's continue. This was a theory, and now let's go to the more practical things. Look at the best practices to real cases and what's going on in our companies from energy sector. So first, I want to share with you results from Prosci research. And Prosci conducts research every 2 to 3 years and has developed the world's largest body of knowledge on change management. And the new best practices study allows us to obtain customized data easily. So for this webinar, I have specially gathered data for the energy sector. Let's see what experts from your industry think about change management and how they implement their projects. So the top projects in your industry is implementing IT software, bringing new culture, implementing ERP system, sales management, changing process, bringing a process optimization, reorganization, installation of continuous improvement, and etc. And this project impacts process the most, then goes mindset of people. That's very important because we can bring changes in process, but without changing mindset of employees, we will not get any benefits at all. Then system, tools, critical behavior, job roles, and etc. For me, very interesting is the right side of this slide. So 50% of projects in energy sector met or exceeded objectives. So it's a little bit different than the 70%, yeah, but kind of same. 68% of projects completed on or slightly under budget, and 35% of projects completed on or slightly ahead the schedule. So let's continue exploring the insights. As you can see from the slide, respondents identified key factors contributing to the success. The greatest contributors is active and visible executive sponsorship, employee engagement, and etc. So this finding suggests that strong leadership and well-defined approach are crucial for success. In the middle, greatest change management obstacle. And this barriers indicates that initiative will struggle without proper engagement of stakeholders and without proper support from the leadership. And when we asked respondents what they will do differently, they said they will involve key stakeholders and sponsor earlier, have more robust communication plan, align change management and project management, and etc. Okay, and this slide shows the trends for the next years and key changes in industry. The main trends for next 5 years it's about importance of integrating change management with strategy and culture and leveraging new technology to support change initiatives. So the growing popularity of agile practices in change management highlights the need of the organizations to be more flexible and responsive. And from the right side, this is a top industry changes that are expected. And we can see that it's about environmental sustainability and climate change. It's about technology and digital transformation. So in summary, successful change management in the energy sector requires considering both internal and external factors, striving for synergy between culture, strategy, and technology. and develop human resources and agile approaches to answer all these potential challenges and to be prepared for these upcoming changes. So now let's try to conduct our mini research. So let's go back to our online portal and answer a few more questions. So from your experience, what helps you when you work with people during a project implementation? So what helps you to be more efficient when you implement new initiatives, new projects, etc.? Yep. Clear explanations. So it's about awareness, right? Answering, well, why are we changing? Active communications, make them the owners of change. Great. So it's make them accountable. People management skills, absolutely. Efficiency of change managers and project managers directly depends on the efficiency of top and middle managers. Knowledge of the change makes them like-minded, listening skills, what's in it for me? Yeah, totally agree. And let's answer to another question. What hinders you when you're working with people during change implementation? What are your main obstacles when you bring some changes in your organization? Will to change, resistance to change. Yeah, huge resistance, fear of unknown, loss of control. Yeah, I think fear and loss of control the main reasons of resistance of managers. Lack of understanding. Agree. Can sign on every your answers. Loss of interest, especially when we are implementing a huge projects that last for 1 or 2 years. This is a big problem that managers will change their priorities, or there will be changes on the management level, and our employees will lose the interest in this project. Okay, thank you very much. Now we will have our own mini research in energy sector of India. That's great. Thank you. So, as I mentioned earlier, or Sudeshna mentioned earlier, I have over 9 years of experience in change management and have worked extensively with companies in the energy sector in Kazakhstan and in global companies as well, like Chevron and Shell, etc. So I decided to highlight a few projects to demonstrate a real-life change management applications. So specifically, this involves the same change initiative attempted twice over approximately 6 years in the same oil and gas company. The project, let's call it digital oil metering system, aimed to automate the production accounting process by replacing manual log entries with standardized digital solution. So it was like common solution worldwide used by other companies in this region, but was never introduced or implemented in this company. So project aimed to obtain real-time data on oil production volumes, simplify the monitoring process, and etc. There were no plan for staff reduction. Instead, the team anticipated that employees would benefit from this change because they were no longer needed to perform manual accounting and give them more time to analyze the data that they collected to be more efficient. So let's look how this project was implemented from a change management perspective. So to understand this case better, I have broken down all the activities and results according to the ATCAR model. So let's start from the beginning. Instead of proper kickoff, managers from that production site were called to the corporate center and ordered to implement new system. They were not involved in the early stages of the decision-making process. They were merely informed that they needed to implement the new system in production before, without explaining the reasons or objectives. The project team did not visit the production site or hold meetings with management and staff. They were just sending emails and that's it. They did not explain what would change or how it will impact the employees. The project team only visited production site when it was time to install the system and sensors. And by that time, there were no awareness or desire amongst employees. As a result, rumors spread that some employees would be laid off and others would receive pay cuts. And even an article appeared in a regional newspaper titled, "How Transformation Will Cost Me My Job," although no such plans were in place, as I told you. So high resistance and lack of support at the production site affected the timelines and budgets. Consequently, the vendor lacked the resources to conduct proper training and workshops. There were few change agents and they could not provide the necessary training as planned. And at the time of go live, it was discovered that employees hacked the system and altered data leading to incorrect results. Furthermore, it was revealed that all production parameters were not accounted due to employee resistance, and the system could not be fully used. So most of the employees refused to use the system, manage it. So ultimately, project was deemed as a big failure and was shut down a few months after go live. Management realized they could not overcome the resistance, and so they decided just to close the project. That's a bad story, right? Let's see what's happened later. 5 years later, the new management decided to restart this project. And this time they aimed to learn from the past experience and significantly expand the concept. The new initiative was envisioned with a full-scale big data project using AI methods for the upstream block. The project aimed to create over 20 analytical models for all production using AI, machine learning, using big data technology to build a centralized database, and implement electronic production reporting form, etc., etc. So you can see it on the slide. Again, no staff reductions were planned, considering the lesson learned from the previous attempt. So this time, everything was done differently. My change management team worked closely with project team and vendor. We focused heavily on building sponsored coalition and engaging key stakeholders. Before starting a project, a lot of meetings were held at the production site and the corporate center. We put a lot of efforts, our resources into explaining that this project will be different than the previous one and outline the expected changes. Key experts from the production sites were involved and become part of the project team. Top management communicated extensively about the importance of the project and why it's needed, why we need to implement it urgently. And before implementing the system, we developed a prototype to demonstrate how this project will impact on employees and their teams. The project team spent most of the time on the production side, staying close to employees with change managers support. Workshops were conducted to show how the project will impact. So comprehensive training strategy was implemented, including preparing key users on site. So, and at the critical stages and events, leadership from both the corporate center and production side were actively involved. We collected feedback from employees and actively addressed the rumors, any rumors that just appeared. So after go live, project team members frequently visited the site for extended periods, and employees were rewarded for actively using this system, and usage and adoption were continuously monitored for 6 months. And commitment to change, we show the commitment to change by using data only from this system. So top managers said, we will accept your reports, your memos, your emails, whatever, if you have data only from this system and you can prove it. So as a result, this change was successfully implemented in the company. It took 6 years a significant amount of money, resources, budget, and history of past failures, including of open sabotage and resistance. So 2 attempts to implement this change. So first one was without change management, same people, same site, almost same management. And second attempt with proper structured change management. Of course, it more resources needed to implement this structured approach, but you can see from the results that it's a totally different results. And from my experience working with energy sectors, I have identified 3 main challenges in implementing projects. These challenges align with global experience and something that you already mentioned. So let's explore how 3 of the biggest global companies in the energy sector manage their changes. We will refer them as Company A, Company B, and Company C, but believe me, this is the biggest company that everyone knows globally. So Company A have 25 change managers that have dedicated change management unit at CEO-2 level and CHRO sponsoring this unit. This centralized model ensures consistency and standardized approaches and etc. Company B takes a different approach. There are no central change management function, but instead they have 200 change managers, but they're not pure change managers. They are line managers, key experts who were trained for a change management. And when projects are happening in their business unit, they can be called to act as a change managers to support project teams. And Company C, they have a change management center of excellence within an HR. They have around 10 people. And when they have in a big projects transformations, they're just attracting external resources as a consultants or like hiring for a small period of time experts. So this model offers flexibility and ability to tap into specialized expertise quickly. So you can see these biggest 3 companies in sector have different approaches to change management. There is no good or bad approach. So there is only best approach that suits you and your company. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, our process based on 2 models, AutoCAD and PCT, and I want to make this webinar as practical as possible, considering our time constraints and etc. So I want to introduce you to the PCT model. It's Prosci Change Triangle. Imagine a 3-legged stool, like a bar stool, and the seat of stool represents success. So if one of the legs shorter or weaker or missing, success, or like a person sitting on the stool, will fall off this stool. So in projects, each aspect is crucial, is important. We must have a good defined success. What does it mean? KPIs, metrics, benefits. We need to have a strong leadership, sponsorship. We need to have a really good project management who will close the technical side. And we need to have a good change management who will work with the people side of change. And we have a special assessment for this. We have 10 questions for each aspect, and you need to evaluate them from the scale from 1 to 3. Score 1 indicates absence or very poor performance. Score 3 indicates excellent, like meaning everything is good totally at a high level. So you can have a score between 10 to 30. A score 10 to 19 means we have a high risk. We need to take immediate actions. 20 to 24, there are possible risks, need further investigation. 25 to 30, meaning everything is well managed. So by evaluating 4 of these aspects, we can get overall health assessment of the project. And main point is that this helps us understand how well we as a project team can manage the transition of employees from current to desired future state, ideally with minimal losses. If we will have weak assessment, weak health check of our project, that means definitely we will have a Swiss cheese condition. So guys, I want you to scan this QR code or just go for a URL address. download this PCT assessment, use it for your project. After our webinar, take a cup of coffee, maybe a croissant, just look at each question of this PCT assessment and try to apply it for your project and conduct like a deep evaluation with your team. I'm totally 100% sure it will help you to be more effective and to get a bigger and a better results in your project, in your changes. So we do this assessment not once but regularly. We recommend you to do this not alone but with your team. So it's about understanding project health, create a shared understanding the current state, develop common corrective actions. And this model also serves as a foundation when we discuss in change management roles, defining who should do and etc. So this is just kind of a simple checklist for your project. Please use it in your changes. So my time is coming. Let's move to the final slide and the last question. Let's go back to our survey and consider what will you do different after our webinar. What will you do differently? Maybe you will use an ADKAR glasses when you will implementing your changes, or I will be happy if you will be using PCT assessment in your project implementation and checking the health of your projects, looking what are you missing, what can you improve, are there any possible risks, and etc. Maybe you will look at your top managers, or all of your top managers. You remember the best practices. The number one success factor is active and visible executive sponsorship in your project. So, and don't do mistakes that I did before, working like a partisan behind closed doors, developing greatest slides, sophisticated Excel models, and without telling anyone, and be upset. And I hope you will not be called an astronaut or science fiction writers, as I was like 10, 15 years ago. Use PCT models. Thank you. I'm happy. Use this model during next change. Use ADKAR glasses. Great. Thank you. So, Sudeshna, I think finished my main parts on my main slides.
Yeah, thank you.
Still time.
So much. And we at the start, please keep your questions coming. Please post it on the Q&A tab, which is you see down there. As of now, we will take a few questions which came to us while with the registrations. The thing was that in energy sector, the scale of the changes are big. So do you see the ADKAR model or the Prosci change management methodology applicable to such large scale changes?
Yeah, sure. For example, a company like BP, British Petroleum, they are actively using Prosci methodology and sending their top and middle managers and key experts for trainings, Prosci trainings. Or Shell, they are biggest clients of Prosci who incorporated change management methodology into their business processes. And I'm working closely with energy sector companies and helping them to implement their changes, their projects using ADKAR model and Prosci 3 phases methodology. So it is very effective and simple way to structure the way how you work with employees during change implementation.
How much of leadership is important during a change? Like what are the things, say like, maybe the top 3, we can't mention everything, we can do to help leaders during change?
Yeah, the role of leaders is very crucial, and I have a lot of experience. And when I come to the project, and if I see that leaders as sponsors are not interested or not active and visible, I can 70-80% given a forecast that that project could fail or will not meet all the objectives. So, but it's not about having a bad management, top managers. It's about helping them, support them. So role of project managers and change managers to support their leaders and sponsors to be effective. It's hard, but we really need to invest time and resources in this. What can help? First is simple roadmap for our sponsors, saying, let's do 3 or 5 actions in this 6 months. You could give a speech on town hall. Let's write an email from you. Let's meet with other top managers and talk about the project and etc. So let's have a simple roadmap for our project, and that will be enough at the beginning. So our role, our task, is to support our top managers to be effective.
Okay, great. And in terms of, this while a change going on in the energy segment, the question which comes again and again is they are working with a lot of things on sustainability. Have you seen change management? But sustainability is always the technical side of the project is heavy. Do you see the importance of the people side there?
Absolutely. I work closely with companies who are implementing ESG principles, for example. And in my opinion, ESG cannot be implemented without change management, because it's not only about some technical solutions, bringing new system or new filters or whatever. It's about changing the mindset of the people to be to look on the project in more sustainable way. How we can do it more sustainable? How we can be more green? And etc. So it's about people, about their mindset. And do you remember from the best practices, mindset was number 2 most impacted thing in change management. So we cannot be green, we cannot be sustainable just by investing and buying some new technologies. We can only be green by investing also in our people, in helping them to go through hard stages to this green future state.
Great. Energy space startups undergo frequent changes within the projects and also see ups and downs. The teams get a lot worked up with these. With the fact that the teams get worked up, how can the leaders smoothen the impact of the changes?
Yeah. So as I understand, sounds like about change saturation, right? A lot of changes happening, and some of them are properly managed or some of them not. So this is a common problem that people facing change saturation. A lot of changes happening in globally in some sectors more than in others, and etc. So what can help? It's a portfolio management. I saw 2 types of portfolio management. First is a plate of spaghetti, like a bolognese. You just take this plate and throw it to the wall. Something will be stick to the wall and will be realized, some will be just fall. And the second type of portfolio management is gardening, when you control everything. Who is our sponsor? How many projects that person is sponsoring? Who is project team member? Who is change manager? What are the impacts, priorities? How does it correspond with strategy, benefits, and etc.? So if I understand correctly, a lot of changes happening, and we need to avoid the change saturation by doing not a spaghetti into the wall, but gardening.
Great. And just as leaders need to do things differently, managers need to do things differently. For employees, they experience the burden of, that, and we see employees resisting. That's a very common thing which comes across as the resistance is very, very on the face. So from that point of view, how do you think we can get the employees more prepared?
Yeah, if we will look in the best practices and experience, why do people resist, employee? Because they were not involved. We didn't explain them why are we changing something, and they have and you also typed it in our AHA slides, fear or maybe loss of something. Yeah, it will negatively affect you. So from my experience in energy sector, we need to invest more time at the beginning, till 2-3 months more resources to involve as many people as possible to explain what is happening, to come to the solutions with them, because people don't like when we give them prepared answers. People like when we come to that answer together, so we can really decrease the level of resistance from the employee level by involving them, by having more structured communication from the very beginning, active communication. And it's important who is talking about it. Farkhad coming from Kazakhstan to your people and saying, hey, you need to build an AI or etc. Or your managers and top managers. It's also important who is talking, who is giving that messages, communications.
Okay, and most of the time we see when a project is implemented, we call an external consultant to do the project. So how feasible it is to do change management externally by somebody? And what would be the advantage if it is an internal capability?
Yeah, as we saw, 3 types of change management offices in biggest company in energy sector. There are no pluses and minuses. I mean, there are no good or bad approaches. Every approach has pluses and minuses. For example, company C have only 10 people for the whole global operations, and they are attracting external change managers, and they're working fine. They are top 3 company in the world, one of the top 10 or 20 company in the world. So for them, it's fine. Company A have 250 change managers, and they're also doing fine, but it's more costly and more management required to have this special unit, right? Division, I would say. So can external consultant do a change management? Of course, but he need to have someone from the client side to whom to speak, to discuss, and etc. So my opinion is having an external resources that will help build your own internal resources, your own internal team. And then you will just evaluate, go from evolution like a company A, for example.
So we saw them sitting also in different places, right? In energy sector, where do you see mostly the change management function sitting? With the projects or with HR?
HR. I see from my experience, it's mostly happening in HR department.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We have a technical question of, do we have an Excel-based PCT model to compare the project health? PCT model, which we just shared with you, the tool which we shared with you is a part of our certification program. This tool is a part with which we do change day in, day out, and it is one of the diagnostics you can use at different types of the project. So we are just helping you with this tool to get a sense of whether it works for you or not. Do get back to us if you need any help after, as Farkhad said, use the tool. We have given you the link on the chat. On the chat, there is a link. On the chat, we have given you a link. You can download the tool download the tool from our website, and you can use it. And maybe you would need deductions or any references you need to make. You can give us a call, and we can work out as what you need to do on those. Just test it out if this works out for you. Yeah, that is we have a PDF which we have shared, the fillable PDF which has been shared with you. We do not at this moment have an Excel version. So with that, a big thank you. I think we are over time, and we are seeing most of the audience who joined us at the beginning are still with us. So thank you everybody for making to this webinar, and thank you Farkhad. It was enlightening, and let us see how change management can help our energy sector in India. Thank you everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
There is one, just if you can join on LinkedIn, we have a MAG Change Leader Forum. Sorry, I missed telling that. It is called the Mark Change Leader Forum. You can join that, and any of you can join that and get the benefits of the content which is being shared there on change management. You can use that content. Otherwise, our website is there, and we are available to help you. Do drop us a mail at prosci@marvonline.com, and we can help you. So with that, thank you so much.